Hello, welcome to easyodds.com. My name is Ross Casey. I'm here with the horse racing extraordinaire, that is Jake Johns, to talk about the big race at Ayr this weekend, the Scottish Grand National. But before we do go into it, Jake, let's briefly allude to the fact that Coral, our sponsors of this video, have got a really good offer currently. You need to bet £25 in between Monday and Thursday any week, and if you do that and opt in, then you'll get a free £10 bet from Coral, and that includes existing customers as well. So if you're already a Coral customer, you can grab hold of that offer. But now, let's go into Scottish Grand National.
That's a decent offer, actually, isn't it? Yes, Scottish Grand National is on Saturday at Ayr. In my piece, I actually wrote Musselburgh at first, so what an idiot. But been a little bit under the weather this week, so it's not my fault. Vicente won this last year, and he comes here on the same mark, and he fell at first in the Grand National, so obviously that's not going to do any harm in terms of his his fitness and stuff. So he's got a big old chance, but he's 8-1 favourite. I think that's a little short. Now for the Grand National, I had 4 tips, and I got a little bit of stick for that, saying that's quite a few. I mean, quite a few people. Lots of people do 4. Some people do more. Some people do less. But for me, that's what works. 1 every 10 horses, and I made profit. So I had a 50-1 each way place. So this time for 30 horses, I'm going to go with 3. I'm going to go with 3 picks. For the Irish Grand National, I actually did 2 picks and got second. But I think with this one, it's really, really open, and yeah, I'm just going to go with 3. The first one I like is Vintage Clouds for the fantastic pairing of Sue Smith and Danny Cook, who have been on fire all season. On the front end, those two are deadly. And Sue Smith has kept up that strike rate up right up until now. She's got a 21% strike at the moment, which is really, really decent. And this 7-year-old has been running fantastically well this season without winning. He's got 3 seconds, 2 falls and a third, and that's all he's done this season, which is good. Some good stats, but no win. But I think this could be the day where he changes those seconds and thirds into a win, as long as he doesn't fall. I think this step up and trip will work. I've had a feeling that it will work ever since he was really, really badly outpaced in the Pit Marsh in the run that Bristol Domay absolutely bolted up. But he was staying on that day. Probably would have nabbed the place, but he fell at the 3rd last. He was then outpaced again over 3 miles 4 and stayed on from absolutely miles back to get 3rd behind Via, Leon Rouge and Black Lion, which is obviously pretty good form in itself. And then he was running in the Red Hot Ultimate Handicap Chase, the best runner of that race that I've seen for a long time, and he was making stealthy headway, and he was right in the mix. When he fell 2 out, probably would have got a place there as well. Maybe would have nicked 3rd or 4th, unlikely to get to the front 2 in the market, because they're both, well, the winner's probably a Grade 1 horse, and the second was really well handicapped, so he probably wouldn't have won, but he would have gone close, and that was a really good race. And I'm just so sure that he's better than a mark of 134. I think he's fantastically well handicapped on that. And he's 14-1 at the moment. Wouldn't surprise me if he got backed in, because he's first choice for Sue Smith. So I like is Truston Times, a bit of a bigger price, 20-1. Trained by Mark Wolford, ridden by Jake Greenall, 11-year-old now. But he was a close 3rd in this in 2014, and that was off of £8 higher. And he looked to be like back to something like his best last time over hurdles, when he won by about 2.5 lengths, loads and loads of hand at Kelso. And also Lots was against him that day. It was over hurdles, obviously he's better over fences. It was softer ground than his optimum probably, and it was over 2 miles 4, which is quite literally miles shorter than his optimum trip. This has very clearly been the plan for a while. He's really, really, really well handicapped on his best form, and I just think he looks certain to go close off of a low mark and a pretty big price at 20-1. If he's back to full fitness, and looks like he almost definitely is, if not better. So 20-1's a big price. And the last horse I like is the old boy, my old friend, Alvarado. Now for Fergal O'Brien, who is in fact having his best season ever, and a very, very eye-catching jockey booking of Brian Hughes, who does fantastically well in Scotland and up north. I get the feelings that Connections kind of knew that he was going to run badly at Cheltenham. He ended up pulling up. I know it was a very kind of last minute, they didn't really care. This has been planned for a long time. It's not best coming into the race obviously, after pulling up, obviously, but he was pretty much tailed off about 60 lengths behind the winner on his prep for this last year, and he managed to get second last year. He comes here off of a £6 lower mark, because he's been put down £4 for his run last time. He's number 27 in the lineup, just got in. We know that he definitely stays because he's been second at this. He's been fourth, staying on strongly in 2 Grand Nationals in a row, both with much higher marks. Yep, he's a 12-year-old, so he's very much at the end of his career now, but he's shown enough this season to tell me that there is still a little bit of fight in him yet. He was 6th in the Edinburgh National, but when after rewatching that race, he did pretty well to get 6th. He made a really bad mistake at I think it was the 15th, and then got ridden a bit after that, and then was going quite well, and made a really, really bad mistake at the 4th last, where Paul Maloney did pretty well to stay on, still did well to get 6th. And then and before that as well at Cheltenham, at the start of the season in November, in a Grade 3, he was 6th of 17, a race that more of that was in. No, not more of that, Cause of Causes. And he was 6th of 17 in a Grade 3 handicap, over 3 miles and 2 furlongs, which nowadays we know is probably short of his optimum. He wants a long, long way. He wants longer than 4 miles, but 4 miles is obviously a good trip for him. So hopefully there's a bit of fight in him. He's only just got in, so I reckon his 33 to 1 price will probably get quite a bit short. I reckon he could go up to about 20 to 1. So he's decent value as well at 33 to 1. So the 3 horses I like are Vintage Clouds, for Sue Smith and Danny Cook, at 14 to 1 each way, Trust and Times at 20 to 1 each way, and Alvarado at 33 to 1 each way.
Got there in the end.
Yes.
So that's 3 selections each way with our man Jake Johns, all double price figures. Very nice indeed. And don't forget that if you opt in with Coral by midnight tonight, then you'll get the chance to bet £25 with them and receive a £10 free bet. So make sure that you opt in by midnight with those 3 selections for the weekend race. So thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to download the Easy Odds app, as it's the quickest and best way of using easyodds.com. As I've got a hair's gone in my mouth. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Ross Casey. This is Jake Jones. Subscribe to our channel.
Bye.